Greetings, my fellow freedom loving thinkers. LOT's News Podcast. My name is Craig transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangoes of South Florida, and today's date is Friday, July 20th, 2018. Looks like I made a discrepancy. Looks like I hit the pause button, and I'm going to try to do a couple more articles. That was my error. I'm like, good grief, I was just doing the review on the episode I've done before that, which is about the South African government wants to have 300,000 gun owners turn in their weapons because expiration of their licenses. So that's already been published. I'm going to hit the mainstream sites. I'm going to hit all the other sites as soon as possible. But I just find this very amusing with the whole Trumpsteria, Trumpxiety, and if he speaks, someone's going to yell. If he farts, someone's going to have a cow. When they see him on TV, steam is coming out of their ears. I always see this Trump hysteria fetish. Treason! TikTok MFR! I probably repeat myself in the last episode, but I just find this totally amusing. So all these people that hate Trump so much that they'll probably get great real quick, expecting to get ulcers, probably go and they're gonna get high stress, high strung, ADD and all that PTSD. Now, I'm not joking about this, but it's really going to ruin your health, folks, if you're going to go around and show pure hatred towards one individual. And that's not really good. You can be critical on his actions, you can hate what they do, but if you're going to go after them directly with this vindication in your heart, it is going to eat you alive, and I will guarantee you that. So we're going to talk about a few things here of the whole Trump hysteria, Trumpxiety, and I hate Trump movement, which I was trying to get in this last episode. However, this came off from the American Free Press, and I find this totally amusing. Came out today, or yesterday. It says here, Rand Paul, former CIA head, is bigoted, biased, and unhinged. And as it reads here from the AFP staff, Republican Senator from Kentucky, Rand Paul, appeared on a series of cable news talk shows yesterday to counter the ridiculous claim made by former CIA Director John Brennan that President Donald Trump should be charged with treason for not sticking up for U.S. intelligence. Let's tell other countries what to do. That's the name of patriotism. Let's overthrow the Iranian government with the CIA. That's patriotism. It's like all this comes out of my mind. It just implodes, of this ludicrous rhetoric. Where some of these dimwits, they all think we're just a bunch of damn fools that go, yes, master, you're right. Bunch of house and field peasants, to be exact. But I'm going to continue on here on Fox News commentator Tucker Carlson's show. Paul, who also happens to be the son of former Representative Ron Paul, Republican from Texas, blasted Brennan, saying, you have to realize John Brennan started his illustrious career by voting for the Communist Party. That's who he wanted to win the presidency back in the 70s. So he voted for the Communist Party. So I'm just wondering if Mr. Brennan has an altar of Karl Marx, Mao Zedong, and Vladimir Lenin all in one room. Maybe has sex box with these guys. Probably climaxes to their fetishes and fantasies. He probably says that he probably has an elastic doll of Nelson Mandela as well. Just to give you guys, all this is coming out of my mind right now. That's why I'm just laughing. I was watching that video. And it says here, he added that Brennan is one of the most powerful people in the world who has the ability to destroy anybody in the world and get information on anything you do. Yet, with that power, he was coming to work each day with a bias and a hatred of the president. It should worry us all what other things he could possibly been doing with that power. You can watch the full interview on here to check it out. And of course, Rand Paul says about should Brennan be getting a government pension, which he is not really fond of. And I'm just wondering what to do about Brennan. Does he have an altar of FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover in a Speedo and go, yes, he's my Lord and Savior. I love him with all my heart. I love being a peeping Tom. That's why I always just have to laugh when he made that statement. I think it's great. And don't get me wrong, it's kind of like to smack Senator Rand Paul upside the head. And I say this out of love and in good faith, not out of vindication, because it's time I get disappointed in some of his decision making in the past. But in this area, he is spot on. Okay, I will be fair. So that's why I get a big kick out of these people. All these Trump bashing holics, that's all their life. I hate that man. Oh. And like I said before, people hear my show in the past. I do criticize President Trump. Okay, and I didn't fall for the hype and hope of being a Trumpaholic or Trumpster. I didn't even do that. However, there's a lot of things you have to really look at. At least he's trying to take the initiative on being, trying to iron out differences. And I'm going to trust the government, including him? No, absolutely not. But you still got to be vigilant, which is good. On the contrary, because I know Israel, looks like Benjamin Netanyahu is getting involved as well on this matter. So you got to question that and just be ready. That's the name of the game. In that area is be vigilant, keep them on their toes, but don't put this animosity towards this man. That's like I said. I'm expecting higher cases of strokes and ulcers. The rate things are going to all these Trump haters and people have vindictions and vendettas towards this man. And like I said before, it's like even eminent domain, I'm real critical of some of his actions, and even I'm very extremely disappointed on the whole pipeline of the DAPL. What happened with the Sioux tribe. And I condemn that passionately. I have no shame of admitting that. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to be critical of President Trump, have merit. Don't be a parrot. That's to anyone in the geopolitical world. I'm not just saying people in the United States, but worldwide. So that's enough of that. I'm gonna do one more here, just to make up for my last episode. Came from antiwar.com. I believe it's originally from creators.com. I'm looking this over. Yeah, creators.com. Yeah, it did. He does that as well. So I came from creators.com. I think Walter Williams on there as well. It says here Trump stands his ground on Putin. Treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Under the Constitution, these are the offenses for which the president can be impeached. And here are at least Donald Trump is guilty of them all. That's what they say. Trump refused to challenge Vladimir Putin, claim at Helsinki that his GRU boys did not hack Hillary Clinton's campaign. He has been called treason and refusal to do his sworn duty to protect and defend the United States by the former director of the CIA, Brennan. Framed journalists and former high officials of the U.S. government have called Russia's attack on the DNC an act of war comparable to Pearl Harbor. So he's telling me that Franklin Delano Roosevelt wasn't treasonous because he had prior knowledge that the Japanese are going to attack Pearl Harbor. That's exceptional, right? Hopefully you DNC fanatics and Trump haters will realize that. Prove me wrong if you dare. The New York Times ran a story on how many are now charging Trump with treason. Others suggest Putin is blackmailing Trump or as him on his payroll or compromised Trump a long time ago. Well, Congressman Steve Cohen, where is our military folks? The commander-in-chief is in the hands of our enemy. Apparently, some on the left believe we need a military coup to save our democracy. Not since Robert Welch of the John Birch Society called Dwight Eisenhower a conscious agent of the communist conspiracy has such charges been hurled at a president. But while Birches were a bit outside the mainstream, today is the establishment itself bawling treason. What explains the hysteria? The worst case scenario that would be that establishment actually believes the nonsense of this spouting. But that is hard to credit, like the boy who cried wolf. The establishment has cried fascist too many times to be taken seriously. So President Obama, a constitutional a president? I don't think so. To all you folks that worship Hillary Clinton, she's a real freedom-friendly, is she? Yeah, look at her voting record once again as a senator. And even that little statement she made about Muammar Gaddafi. He came, we saw, he died. With that wicked witch skanky voice of hers, okay? It makes me reek, you know? Probably making some bowel movements over that. And I'm being conservative on this matter. A month ago, the never-Trumpers comparing the separation of immigrant kids from detained adults who brought them to the U.S. illegally to FDR's concentration camp for Japanese Americans. Some commentators equated the separation to what the Nazis did at Auschwitz. If the establishment truly believed this nonsense, it will be an unacceptable security risk to let them near the levers of power ever again. Using Occam's razor, the real explanation for its behavior is the simplest one. America's elites have driven over the edge by Trump's successes and the failure to block him. Trump is deregulating the economy, cutting taxes, appointing record numbers of federal judges, reshaping the Supreme Court, using tariffs to cut trade deficits, and the bully bullpit to cascade freeloading allies. And you gotta look at all sides. I know there'll be a little risk on tariffs, but you know what? It's gotta be a fair playing field, which he inherited with NAFTA, GATT, and of course the World Trade Organization getting involved. So you gotta be really do your homework before focusing on face value. Like, people gotta learn the history of these things. How come it's in this area? Worst of all, Trump clearly intends to carry out his campaign pledge to improve relations with Russia and get along with Vladimir Putin. Over our dead bodies, about where elites seem to be shouting. Hence the rhetorical WMDS hurled at Trump. Liar, dictator, authoritarian, Putin's poodle, fascist, demagogue, traitor, Nazi. And I've seen some of the photos of Trump with Vladimir Putin. It is hilarious. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take that too seriously. Such language approaches incitement to violence. One wonder if the haters are considering the impact of the words they are casually using. Some of us yet recall how Dallas was charged with complicity in the death of JFK for slurs far less toxic than this. The post-Helsinki hysteria reveals not merely the mindset of the president's enemies, but the depth of their determination to destroy him. They intended to break Trump and bring him down, to see him impeached, removed, indicted, and prosecuted, and the agenda on which he ran and was nominated and elected dumped on the ash heap of history. Thursday, Trump indicated that he knows exactly what is afoot and threw down the gauntlet of defiance the fake news media wants so badly to see a major confrontation with Russia, even a confrontation that could lead to war. They are pushing so recklessly hard and hate the fact that I'll probably have a good relationship with Putin. Spot on, Trump is saying. I am going to call off this Cold War too before it breaks out into a hot war that 9 U.S. presidents avoided despite heavy provocations far graver than Putin's pilfering of DNC emails showing how Debbie Wasserman Show stuck it to Bernie Sanders. Then the White House suggested Vlad may be coming to dinner this fall. Trump is edging towards the defining battle of his presidency, a reshaping of U.S. foreign policy, and avoid clashes and conflicts with Russia. The shedding of Cold War commitments no longer rooted in the national interests of this country. Yet, he should attempt to carry out his agenda to get out of Syria, pull troops out of Germany, take a second look at NATO's Article 5 commitment to go to war for 29 nations, some of which, like Montenegro, most Americans never heard of. He is headed for the most brutal battle of his presidency. This Helsinki hysteria is but a taste. By cheering Brexit, dissing the EU, suggesting NATO is obsolete, departing Syria, trying to get on with Putin, Trump is threatening the entire U.S. foreign policy establishment with it fears most, irrelevance. For if there's no war on, no war imminent, and no war wanted, what does the war party do? Exactly. You know what the war party wants to do? They want their stocks to skyrocket. They want their stocks to skyrocket. That's how you gotta look at it. Because right now it looks like some of the stocks may be slightly going down a little bit, and that hurts their pocketbook. Boo-hoo. To all these war partiers, these fake news medias, and all these Trump haters want to go to war, throw them on the front line of battle. Let's see how tough these dinkleberries are. If not, Go get a bar of Palmolive soap and go back into your closets, okay? Plain and simple. So, like I said before in the past, I am very critical of President Trump's actions at times, but other days I will have to commend him. But it doesn't mean I'm going to sit back and do nothing. I will call anyone out when you're going to have these tyrannical attributes or motives. And I'm not afraid to say this on the air or write a letter to them or call them on the phone and let them know how I feel. Okay? That's how I do things. I don't sit back and go after one person. I don't have this witch hunting fetish like a lot of these cowards do. These wusses. These pieces of garbage. Scott Israel syndrome. Yep, Sheriff Scott Israel is not my sheriff. He's just an example of the clowns in the circus. And I say that in good faith. And I am going to add to the show by the Scott Horton show that came out on the 17th, Peter Van Brennan on Trump, Russia, Hysteria. And it's a real good show. Nicely done. And talking about all the hearsay and so forth and how we can discuss. And even himself, he finds it pretty ludicrous in the matter. So I'm not the only one, or many others out here. Even people, folks that are not Trump fanatics or anything like that, the greatest president in the United States. But you always gotta see things in a bigger picture. So that's how you better yourself. And you know what? Not only one-dimensional hacks out there. Study civics once again, because you are totally failing the course and your obligations as registered voters. No ands, ifs, or buts, or give me any defense mechanized rhetoric, because to me, that's an attribute of used toilet paper. Okay? Alright. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us with social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or you're saying something that's interesting you may want to check out, whatever you do, please address your correspondence with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Freedoms Network, Minds.com, FutureNet.club, Patreon.com/lookalike3 with 3 eyes. If you're going to be a donor, that'd be awesome. I would love that. Gab at gab.ai, yours.org, oneway.com, and buddylist.co. That's a good site. Those are good sites, by the way. A lot more pro-free speech, anti-mainstream social media. In addition, you can email me at lookalike3@gmail.com, or to encrypted ones, especially with a Proton Mail account. That's a plus. Lookalike number 03@protonmail.com. All right, my friends. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.